Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to the exciting installment of Darkness in Dublin. This evening scene takes place in a small airfield located about 20 miles outside, or 20 kilometers outside of Dublin city proper. It's one of those small affairs where small commercial and personal flights take off, mostly private planes, and the like of the super rich of the city are stored here, luxurious and entirely decadent. But here is indeed where the supernaturals of Dublin City have been informed to gather, as this evening, it would seem, they are going to be heading on a small field trip, going back to the United States, the former domain of Lord Aishar, a being of, shall we say, dubious morality, who has been wrapping his fists around Dublin like a serpentine, like the rhythmic movements of a serpentine beast. With that in mind, it is raining heavily as our friends and compadres of the. Thank you, Saskia. Well, as our friends and compadres roll up towards this apparently deserted airfield, sitting on the single tarmac runway, you see this rather nice plane in front of you, with its running lights on. You see two pilots inside going over flight procedures, etc. We shall join our group at the bottom of the steps leading up into the airplane proper. As I call out your name, you shall do your introductions. These will be in the order that you appear on my screen. Or question, as there are basically two sides here, we have Team Vampire and Team Demon. Would you two like to all arrive together, or would you like to arrive separately? I don't care.
I will always arrive at my sister, obviously.
Okay. So, screw it. We will just have you all arrive together. So, in Team Vampire, in that case, who will go first? We have Bruce, we have Samuel, we have Francis, and we have David. So, who's going to drive the group here? Who's going to be the designated wheelman for the evening?
I volunteer.
Okay. You do have an awesome pickup truck that we even named last time.
Yeah, it's a truck. It's made of truck.
It is a truck. It is, in fact, made of truck. Okay. So a collection of vampiric individuals will show up in a truck before offloading themselves. So I will let them do a brief introduction. Francis, you are up first to do your introductions, as you appear the first on my screen.
Francis. He is geared up in what do you say? Kind of journeyman's wear, but underneath that he's wearing Kevlar body armor. He has on him a heavy handgun, something akin to a deagle or similar. Enough ammunition for a few magazines, about 4 or 5, maybe 6, and also has a small cadre of knives on him as well. He also has his phone on him, but he looks much more practical than anyone who's at. I don't think anyone here was at the meeting, but he's not dressed like a Toro Lord. He's a guy who's dressed to fight. He also has his sword on him.
Okay. Tiger, David Morris is up next.
David is wearing his usual plaid t-shirt and a pair of jeans, driving a truck that he has gotten repaired after the superficial damage from the Seneschal. And he'll just drive up and he'll reach in the back seat and grab his hunting rifle and just kind of step out.
All right, Bruce.
Bruce is there, dressed quite comfortably, and has a nice, rather large two-handed axe on his shoulder, looking bored.
Okay. So, last but not least, Samuel.
Samuel is dressed in modern black Kevlar SWAT type gear. He is carrying a boarding cutlass at his hip, and doubtless various other relevant items stuffed in the appropriate pouches.
I choose to point out. I choose to point out that literally people would look at this group and say, "Jesus Christ, these are either the worst cosplayers / LARPers we've ever seen, or they mean fucking business."
I'm here to kill. I'm here to kill.
Kill all the things.
Kill all y'all anime dreams.
The fuck did that come from? Okay. So next we move on to Team Damon. So we shall have Curl and his dear sister intro in their VW bug.
Right. Well, Kirill, well, you'll technically not be super prepared. Like, I see people in SWAT gear. I don't know what I'm doing here. All I know for sure that something the fuck's happening, and I just arrived. So I'll be wearing my regular outfit, which does have a few shanks and stabbing weapons. And, of course, I'm wearing my hoodie, my leather jacket, and my stabbing vest. But that's nothing odd. That's what I always wear. So, yeah. And jeans, no helmet. Just regular Joe, really.
A little striving.
Of course.
And she also doesn't really know why she's here, other than the fact that, some magical being called ESD apparently wants to torture her.
I apologize for nothing. Think about it like
So,
this.
yeah.
If you weren't here, you could be out having a social life or, fulfilling
God.
other dreams and aspirations. Ugh. Continue.
Oh, terrible. Yeah. No, the idea by itself alone. Oh my God. Yeah, no, Lil will park the car. Tosses the keys to Carol. It's like, so. Now what? What are we even doing here?
Well, I'll leave that up to our sense and sensibilities as we are.
Quite simply put, a voice says from behind you as you see a figure walking down the entrance ramp to the plane. There's the kind of the click, click, click as her high stiletto boots move down the her stiletto heel boots move down the plastic of the stairs. Is this one the record? As I put up a picture. Quite simply put, you were sent here as father by your superiors in order to alleviate some debt that they felt that they no doubt owed. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Right.
Lil looks very unimpressed.
All right. So, also arriving at this point, we will have Grog. You're up next.
Evan, we were told by the whatchamacallit, Duke, to come here.
Pretty much.
And that this was going to be dangerous.
Yep.
All right. So, up comes another person that looks like just a really bad LARPer. Really, really bad at it. Like, he's got a long cloak. He's covered in bandages to hide his features. Chainmail vest that just looks like he's.
You do not have a chainmail vest. I veto that immediately. You do not have a chainmail vest.
They're actually really cheap. I looked it up.
No. Unless you want to basically wear LARP mail, in which case, yeah, it'll do absolutely nothing for you armor-wise, but it'll look like mail. I've been a LARPer for years. It is literally as easy to get through as fucking fishnets. Real chainmail is a fucking huge annoyance. But sorry, continue what you were saying.
He just walks up to the airplane and just kind of waits.
All right, and last but certainly not least.
Okay, so this is like outside of the city, right?
It's
Like
about
at a little rural airport, if I understand correctly.
It's about 20 miles or 20 kilometers outside the city. Yes.
Okay, so a very grungy-looking man in a dirty trench coat walks up, kind of breathing kind of heavy because he had to walk for 20 miles and he's fucking exhausted. And he just stands there over by Carol and Lillian waits.
All right. So, for those of you who know me, that is lovely. I assure you, I have a name.
I'm sure I don't care.
I'll rip that demonic soul out of you, play with it for a while, and shove it back in sideways if you mouth off again.
Oh, that's going to be funny.
Now then, you are here for a specific reason. And that reason is, simply put, that we have been able to ascertain a massive threat to all of us. The source of this conundrum is an individual who many of you have become familiar with. His name is Aishar. I have a personal vested interest in the terms of vast amounts of remuneration in seeing him very, very dead. So, however, it is often believed that in order to hunt one's prey, one should know one's prey. With this in mind, his former residence and chantry, or for those of you who are uninitiated, place where he worked his sorcerer's arts, has been made available to us via his noble semblance of Clan Tremere, offering a hand to those who are thoroughly and truly in need. Praise Clan Tremere. Now,
What is a Clan Tremere?
That is not something you need to concern yourself with.
Then I don't need to concern myself with this ride.
Very well. Needless to say, it is a geopolitical grouping of my kind, the same political grouping that Aishar belonged to.
And what is your kind?
She smiles, and you see the very pronounced fangs.
Ew.
All right, yes, I'll have a talk with you, sister, about that.
So, I have been able to, shall we say... I'm not sure if I've turned Joey on or killed his sexuality. It's one or the other. Okay.
One then the other, it seems.
Excellent. So, with this in mind, you have been invited in order to help us in this cause. This has, needless to say, this will require some suspension of disbelief on both sides, or rather, the laxing of certain ironclad laws or concepts that should not ordinarily be laxed. However, it has been deemed necessary. To that end, I have procured this plane. She taps it with she's got a cane in her hand that she just kind of taps the plane with it. She says, "This is the property of the great and honorable Prince Thrain of Dublin. I would like to thank him for allowing me to blackmail him into giving me this ride. Needless to say, please do not scratch the paintwork." She just eyes Lil. It's like, don't scratch the paintwork. Eyes.
I mean, Lil is just looking at the plane suspiciously. She's never flown before.
Okay.
I'm sure Kuru would never carve his name somewhere where she doesn't look.
Excellent. That's all I ask.
I also never lie.
Lil's kind of giving her the look like, why would I even do that? Like, there's no...
I also choose to I have to answer poor Bishop, who's having a freak out in the chat. People voted for crossover, which means I have to suspend the normal rules of existence, which means you're not fucked. Have that. There
No.
you go.
Don't worry, the Breach of the Masquerade only hurts vampires.
That's statement. She will lean on her she leans on the cane and she'll say, "So, with this in mind, we will be flying to a small airfield located just outside Saisuvaikia. I can't pronounce this bloody thing. Opelousas? What the fuck kind of name is that? In Louisiana. Opelousas. Who the fuck names a town Opelousas?
A drunk, most likely.
I mean, more than likely, duh. So, with this in mind, if you would all care to follow me aboard, she will stride up into the the door of the plane.
The sheriff will enter, not having said a word this entire conversation, because he cares.
Does he really care, honest and for true?
Oh yes, that is why he has said nothing.
All right, so the interior of the plane looks like this. Only without some of the Chinese motifery, but I like this interior. So it looks incredibly comfortable. Catherine simply throws herself into one of the chairs, and kind of she puts her leg up on that table that's there, and so makes herself comfortable. Basically, sit. It will be at least a couple of hours before we're due to arrive. When you've gotten yourselves strapped and buckled in, I'll inform the pilots that it's time for takeoff.
Lil is just really gonna pretend that this is perfectly normal. This is not the most richest environment she's ever been in whatsoever, and she's used to things like this. At the same time, she's looking if she can, like, I don't know, get some diamonds in her pockets or something if they're like ingrained in the.
They aren't. However, if you go to the bathroom at some point, the fixtures are made of gold, or at least appear to be gold plated.
Oh yes.
God.
Oh dear.
I'm not saying that you just took in two of the most deprived demons possible.
No.
And yes, I would unscrew parts if that means that the screws were gold.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll do. And also, to make myself perfectly clear, I would tell Lil about the deal I made with the tyrant once we get there. So she knows what the fuck's happening.
That sounds like a you problem.
Yep.
Well, we can discuss this in large in the toilet.
Right, while we dismantle it.
So,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Needless to say, you guys will all be clambered into the plane. Does anyone refuse to get on or anything like melodramatic?
Nope.
No, not necessarily.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, that'll do fine. Okay, so when you've all assembled on the plane, she will push an intercom button and she'll say, "We're ready to take off." Yes. Understood. That's fine. So, boys and girls, if you would please buckle up, as I'm not exactly sure, but I don't particularly care to be smacked in the head by one of you when you realize that forward thrust and momentum is a thing. So, you will all buckle up. The blinds on the windows will automatically lower themselves. You'll hear a little kind of zzz as they slide down. The lights in here will dim, so to the point that it becomes relatively dark, but it is still comfortable. And the plane will eventually will turn on the tarmac that it is seated on or standing on before it will advance down the runway at quite a great velocity, picking up enough speed until it will leave the ground and you will be flying. with the exception of what I will refer to as Grand Theft toilet seat. I take it that there is going to be from my vampire players who are like in the side chat going, uphold the masquerade, and other people going, fuck the masquerade. I take it that there will be absolutely teetotally and in all other ways no conversation.
Lil and Kirul will talk, but only to other demons if necessary.
David's just pacing up and down the way, like looking a little aggravated and or nervous.
The sheriff will make small talk with his kindred companions and gleefully ignore everybody who is not one of his kind because masquerade.
I'm sleeping like a normal person.
So Samuel is quite happy Francis wasn't set up a telepathy back channel, so we could talk about what's going on.
That takes willpower. That takes effort.
All right. Would you guys like to roll me dexterity security to try and get away with the bathroom fixtures?
Oh, sure.
All right.
All I have to do is like start that up. I always forget that.
I got an 8, a 7, and an 8.
Yes.
Somehow I have a feeling we should do this on the way back, though.
Yes, we are doing this on the way back, but it's cool. It's cool for us to already know what we got.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so I can get this loose, but maybe not right now.
A 9 and a 6.
Okay.
Actually, are there any cameras on the toilets? I mean, there shouldn't be, but are there?
I mean, no.
Okay.
The prince is not that much of a voyeur.
I mean, you never know.
You never know.
Parasites.
All right, kids. So it will be a relatively uneventful flight. In that case, as you pointed out, the various groups may make small talk. Catherine tends to spend most of her time in kind of a meditative trance. So she will only talk if you really speak to her, and she will give quite short answers. David will proceed to pace a hole in the back of the ship or in the back of the plane because he's nervous as fuck about flying, apparently. So yeah. About 6 hours will pass before there will be a kind of a beep beep of the intercom before you all will hear a voice saying, "Please take your seats for landing. We will be landing in approximately 5 minutes." What the fuck do you want, Saskia? Jesus Christ, you have to fly to the United States for fuck's sake. Jesus.
I mean, 6 hours.
Will there be food?
Food will be served if you want it. They have the option this evening of seared scallops, filet mignon, or a rack of lamb.
Do we get fries with that?
Oh
Yes.
my god. Kill me.
I mean, in theory, you're already dead, Vince.
But
So the rack of lamb with a load of potato. Yeah, let's do this.
Okay.
The sheriff just looks on, like just looking at them as if they're just beneath scum, like they're just the worms beneath the dirt.
So what you're saying, wait, hang on. What you're saying is you look at them in the same way Chris looks at Bidoof.
Oh,
I would say that Bruce and don't get along, but at this very moment, there's just like a same look of disgust and just kind of roll eyes, just look out the window.
They are the Yamchas of this plane ride.
I'll put that if you guys are actually giving like genuine side eye, the Red Archon is also eating. She is eating a solid meal because she chooses to. So if you guys choose to give shit eye, you'll also be giving it to her by proxy.
I mean, in all honesty, I don't think Lil is gonna eat that food. She doesn't trust it. You don't know where it's been.
He's just rolling his eyes at the complete lack of class. It's fine.
That is the reaction could just start, isn't it? Could you think that eating food is disgusting once they've been around a while?
I mean, it depends. Some of them, no. Most of them do if they can't do it. If they can actually eat a metabolite, if they actually have the eat food merit, many of them enjoy doing it because it's an experience they can do.
Sure, but that was the social norm around ancillary elders. Is that disgusting? Please don't do that in public. That's ew.
I mean, I wouldn't say that's the norm at all, but you are free to have whatever associative.
Well, no,
norm.
this is a background question. That's how I understood the game world.
No, I mean, once again, there are, once again, I would argue that it is something that it is an experience, and basically it is an experience. I would say that you might become cold to, but because you can't do it. I mean, there would almost be a pseudo envy to it because it's an experience you can no longer take part in. So you might look at it from the perspective of I am superior, I don't need it, or you might look at it from the perspective of I wish I could still do this because it is a pleasant experience. It's up to you. But I don't think there is a normative to it. I don't think that every Ancilla views it as disgusting and every elder views it as disgusting.
I didn't say every. I said as a norm.
I don't think it. Well, I don't think it. I personally don't think it is the norm.
Okay, fine. Okay,
I've literally never heard that before.
Okay.
What was that, Tiger?
I said I've literally never heard that before now.
What about the food thing?
Yeah.
I have.
It is important.
I thought it's defined as eat food merit. That it says that vampires normally find it disgusting. But anyway, whatever.
So, but yes, the plane will eventually set down. You will find yourselves, as you look out the window, in a much more humid atmosphere. You seem to be surrounded by swamp on all sides, so watery byways and bayous that watery bayous and aquifers abound. You see great swarms of flies that are just above the surface of the water, seeming to be drawn to its fetid, decaying vegetation. So the side of the plane will open up, the door will open, the ramp will extend, as Catherine will stand up and she'll say, "We've gotten ready some transportation. It's only about a 5-mile drive or so in order to take us to where it is we need to go. I'll take wheel on one of the cars. Who wants to drive the other?"
I'll take it.
Okay. David likes to drive.
David does like to drive.
That's fine. You know what else David drives? He drives me insane.
I mean, you're right.
I know it. So you guys will find some very large kind of Humvee 4x4s that have been left. You see the Opelousas airfield, and it is as unpronounceable as she is making it out to be. It is kind of a rickety wooden building that looks as if it has been half forgotten by time. So as it is so late, you very much doubt anyone is even there. She will have a word with the drivers and she'll say, "If we're not back by dawn, don't worry. We're probably not coming back." Before clambering into the Humvee. She is going to take the demon players, and I assume that then David will take the vampire players.
Yep.
Cool.
I mean, there's one demon that definitely has some concern of a vampire driving.
Yep, but hey.
I mean, you can say that you'd rather drive if you'd like, as she's stepping towards the car to open it.
We don't know where we're going. Just saying.
Yeah.
You act like she knows. It's pre-programmed to the stat nav.
Aren't you already in Louisiana? Like, a bit late to say you don't know where you're going.
Well, I mean, we're in Louisiana, but that's like a state. Like, we didn't touch down right outside the Chantry. We still got to get to the Chantry.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. But we had a 6-hour plane ride for this issue to become prominent. It's too late.
Oh yeah, you're right.
All right. So, I mean, does Lil say that she'd rather drive?
No, she'll just look slightly displeased.
Okay. So you're driving down the country roads to take you home. That place you belong.
That's the wrong
Gang
state.
other crap and we don't speak of it.
Okay. You're driving down a long expanse of back roads that appear to be more red mud than concrete at this time of year. Clearly the rains have been hard this season. Once again, the bayous and the waterways that surround you appear flooded and fetid, stagnant. There's this constant smell that constant smell of decaying vegetation you get in bogs and swamplands. Before it is eventually, after driving for no short length of time, about 30 minutes or so, she'll stop the car outside a rusted pair of cast iron gates, leading up to a house in the distance. A house that looks very much like this. Well, we're here. At least according to the set nav. It is night, for the record. It's just this is the best picture I can find of it. Would the demons like to roll me perception awareness?
Oh, you bet your spooky ass I do.
Is it based on sight?
Yes, dear. What is the I think it's difficulty 7 to sense to randomly sense magic. I think.
Perceptness alertness.
A shitload of successes. 8,
Jesus.
4, 8, 8, 10, 10, 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's time I'm taking a special.
5. Yeah.
2 successes.
This place, you can't actually tell what kind of magic it is. You can only tell that it is magic. This place is washed in it. It radiates out from it. But it radiates out from it in an odd way. It almost makes you feel physically sick. As a matter of fact, just for Kirill, because he feels it more intensely than the others, could you please make me a stamina check?
Oh boy. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, that's gonna be amazing. Be amazed at my 1 stamina. There you go.
I mean, you only luckily have. I'm glad you have 1 success more than I am. For
There you
once.
go. I hope 6 is enough.
Hang on, what did you get?
A 6.
Oh, it's difficulty 7.
Oh, amazing. Can I burn a willpower on it?
Not after you've rolled, unfortunately.
Aw, sad face.
Okay. Basically, you will look at the place. You will feel this feeling wash over you, this nausea, and you will get violently ill. Like you will puke up whatever's in your stomach.
Awesome.
So like, and we're not just talking about like one of those kind of like we're talking about you fall to your knees and puke, like as in everything that's in there is no longer in there.
Is it already when I'm in the car, or just when I get out of the car?
When you get out of the car, when you see the house.
All right.
The other demons can understand what he's feeling. You guys basically managed to suppress it or didn't see enough of it. But basically, I'll also give Kirill another thing because he got so many successes on it. You can almost see shapes, smoky, dark shapes, almost dancing around the outside of the house.
Evan,
Yes.
Do I see anything ghostly?
No,
Because I have that power.
nothing that you would consider to be ghostly. No.
Okay.
So yeah, from the perspective of others, as the vampires step out of their car, which probably followed the demon car here, you will simply see one of the demons fall to his knees and vomit everywhere.
He's gonna walk forward and be like, he get like plane sick or something.
Shut up.
Okay.
That's not very neighborly. Is he okay?
Sure, he's fine. But Lil will have her gun out at this point.
Quick question: are the vampires looking at this place under Othbeck?
Yeah, well, I'll give it a quick aura scan.
Because hey, Bishop, you know what I'm gonna fucking say to you now, you tosspot?
Hey!
Roll me some fucking courage.
In name of Bidoof.
Be brave for Bidoof. Okay, we're gonna stop now. It's actually gonna piss him off.
I was gonna say you intentionally want him to fail.
Let's see.
It's gonna be difficulty 8. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, I mean, Bidoof is unaware, so it doesn't need to be ready. Just too stupid to realize the stakes. So I'm going to roll my courage. I'll check what that actually is. It is. Where can I go downstairs? Yes. Okay, it's 3 now to spend willpower. I'll be spending a lot of that tonight. Oh, good thing I spent that willpower.
All right. Bishop, as you look at this, as you look at the house, it appears to be a pillar of black energy, sickening black energy, covered in odd glyph-like covered in odd glyphs that move like smoke over the outside, red gaseous smoke. It makes you feel uneasy. It makes the beast inside you rile, tear, rip. You feel as though you are restraining your fear frenzy just by the skin of your fingers.
Alright, I will roll manipulation subterfuge to pretend as if everything is fine.
Would anyone like to oppose it to see him bricking
I only
himself?
got 1 success, so you should have no
I
question.
will oppose it.
I will too.
That was a bit. That was a sad. Those are 2 sad rolls.
Well, what if you got 41? I don't know how that happened.
I got 6 successes. I see through all your bullshit, bloody vampire.
I got
Well, he's
2.
definitely very troubled, and there was something. There was a how to say? How does one react when in frenzy? Or almost frenzy. It's like a. It's kind of like a. Yeah, it's like a. It's like a. Yeah, it's like a. It's a change in expression that kind of comes and fades momentarily. You know, it's something that turns into a grimace or a sneer, and almost looks like it will turn into something else, almost instantaneously. Maybe a slight. Almost maybe a slight. Scuff of the heels, but he's clearly extremely troubled by something, but he manages to compose himself.
What's the difficulty to us to sense this? Because I got either 3 successes or 1.
It's up to the 6.
Oh wow, I had 3 successes to know that you have trouble keeping your composure.
Yeah, Lila is just gonna make sure that she's standing in between the vampires and her brother. Just, you know, safety.
Okay.
He's clearly left his mark on this place.
Undoubtedly so. Interesting. So, now the question is, how is it you wish to proceed?
Can I get a
Oh, sorry. Anthony, speak first.
can I get a perception occult to look for wards and things?
You need to have the actual ability to see them to look for them.
Well, okay.
Or you need to. No, you actually can roll if you think that they're there. You just have to get. You'd have to get closer.
He'll move closer.
Okay.
Can you see them with aura perception, or is that a different thing?
Yeah, you can see them with aura perception.
Oh, cool. Oh, are those the smoky glyphs that I'm looking at?
Those are indeed the smoky glyphs of Smoky.
Okay. Well, yeah. Francis will note that to the rest of the group. He'll just say on the other side. This place has an aura to it, covered in a pillar of black smoke. Wards seem to swirl around it intermittently.
Can you point them out?
They seem to move, but I could direct you as to where they're going and tell you when they circle back around.
Whatever you can do.
Well, he'll just kind of point them out and effectively tell you where they're going, and says, well, that one seems to have re-emerged. Does he detect any pattern to them, or do they just seem wrapped in spontaneity and chaos and terror?
They just seem to be entirely. They seem to be moving randomly. As a matter of fact, you will notice some of them stop, then change direction, seemingly at random.
Yes, he'll say then, I can't see any real pattern to them. Their movements appear to be random, chaotic, sporadic.
Important question, Anthony. If you wish to move forward, you can. Do you open the gate?
No. The fuck?
Okay. Do you jump the wall?
No.
Yeah, you were the one who was saying I'll get closer, so I was like, okay.
I mean, I get closer, not touch you with my dick, Evans. Difference. Like,
I mean, just stroke it gently; it'll be fine. Jesus.
no, that's how you like roll backwards, covered in black flame, and like, oh, Anthony takes 7 egg, unsolvable. Well, I'm dead.
Sounds like Christmas.
How are you guys wishing to approach? You cannot sense immediately any magic bishop coming from the gate itself. I will point out that, interestingly enough, the gate has this symbol that is formed of bronze. It is basically, when the gates come together, it forms this symbol.
Can I have a law check on that?
You can have it. Anyone can have an intelligence occult check on it if they want. It will be a difficulty 7 and require a threshold of 3 successes.
If you have something like thaumaturgy, dark thaumaturgy, infernalism, anything like that, does it lower it?
What do you have?
Dark thaumaturgy, and infernalism.
If you have thaumaturgy, it'll lower the difficulty by 2.
Okay.
You said we needed 3 successes, right?
3 successes.
Dang, I only got 2.
Same, only 2.
That's 6 successes.
God fucking damn it. Okay. I'll let anyone else roll.
We're rolling like bosses.
I'll let anyone else roll before I give the exposition.
Damn.
Well, obviously the eye is a symbol of sight, but it's also a symbol of more things. Like, for example, the eye can be a symbol of warding, a symbol of foresight, a symbol of protection. This is why, a lot of people say the all-seeing eye or even the evil eye. So it could have many different occult meanings there. It's made of bronze, and bronze is an interesting metal because, of course, bronze is a very, very common alloy. So, for example, it's made of the amalgamation of more than one metal, which might have its own suggestion in and of itself, but you couldn't be sure of that. And I'll give you one more thing. Why is it joined? In order to open the gate, you would have to break the eye in 2. Why? That you would have to, when the gate's closed, the eye is whole, but in order to open the gate, the eye has to be broken, basically.
Okay, that's all I get.
Yep. There's a lot of possibilities that could be linked to, but it's really hard to tell.
Just so I don't have to repeat what Evan said.
Okay.
Matter of factly. I just think that repeating from the ST is just a little obnoxious.
It's fine. You guys will all hear my exposition from Anthony's lips then.
Correct.
I mean, we could break the eye, but breaking the eye could set things off. I have no idea what's in this place.
Well, we could attempt to maneuver around it.
The fence itself is the wall itself that surrounds it is about 20 feet high. In theory, it's jumpable, particularly if you were to have multiple people help you.
Or you have things that can fly.
Yes.
Lil will just look at her brother.
I am going to activate my Lore of Humanity 1.
Okay.
So that if there's something that needs to be read or that is a warning, I can actually read.
Okay. That's fine. Is there a roll associated with that, or does it just do?
No, it's not a roll. It's just like click.
Okay.
So for you, yeah, since you're not a demon ST, you do know how Lore of Humanity works, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, then I don't have to explain. Go on.
I'll fucking jump. I'm done. Waiting.
Okay.
I'll be end in tears. I know.
It's Dex. Do you wish to try and climb the wall, basically?
No, I'm gonna jump over it using Lore of Fundament 1.
Jump the wall, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Roll that jump.
Strength athletics. Gonna burn a willpower on this one because I know this is not my best dice roll. I got 2 successes, which basically means that I'm jumping 40 yards.
Okay. Yeah, you will jump high into the air and gracefully sail over the wall. Nothing appears to stop you or impede you in any manner. And then you will land with a crunch crunch on the gravel path on the other side.
Okay.
So are there locks on the gate?
No?
Can I sense the veil?
The veil here is, yeah, it's and it is as strong as it normally is. Iosi said to Grog, there does not appear to be anything odd here when it comes to the spirits of the dead.
Any wards on the other side, though?
There are wards around the house. There doesn't appear to be anything on the door or on the gate.
Okay.
Hop the fence.
Okay. How are you hopping the fence?
Potence.
There's actually in V20, there's actually a special combo discipline you need to jump really high. You can you can use strength athletics and you can spend blood for automatic successes, but it doesn't actually let you do super jumps. It's really quite odd.
That's odd.
I think that combo discipline just makes you jump even better than you normally could with potence, to be fair.
Yeah, because it's like leaps and bounds or something like that. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah. I think it's just like you can jump buildings instead of houses or something like that.
That's obnoxious. You don't need to jump houses.
I mean, why would you not jump houses?
Why
would you?
What do you mean you don't have to jump houses? Of course you have to jump houses.
No, I need to fucking get that for my set type, fucking Odessa, just so I can be even more of a ninja than I already am.
David's just gonna go over to the wall and kind of crouch down, hold his hands together, and be like, "I'll give y'all a lift. Just fucking jump off my hands."
I'll just jump off his hands.
Just jump off his hands as well, yeah.
By the way,
That's what I'll
Saskia.
do.
Yeah.
Hi, Saskia. How's it going?
Hi. Well, up to now, pretty well, and Lil is actually looking rather smug.
As you stand up, you come to be aware of the fact you're standing directly in front of someone, because essentially as you raise your head up, you kind of get their feet, and then you go up to their knees and up, you know?
Oops.
Bishop, do you still have your Auspex active?
I do, yeah.
All of a sudden, from just beyond the gate, another signature, a psychic presence, sparks into being.
Oh dear.
Interesting.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Welcome, my dear, to my humble home.
Oh boy. Oh boy, indeed.
So, for Bishop's purposes, Bishop, you see a figure who is standing there. Some of you have seen this individual before, some of you have not. He is not physically there. He is just a psychic impression that is being broadcast through Auspex, basically.
Having high levels of Auspex, would I recognize this?
Yeah, he is essentially transmitting himself out of his body to be here. It's the same thing you can do, but he's making himself visible.
Okay.
So he is not physically here. Oh yes, Bishop, you could astral combat him.
That ends terribly.
I feel like that could be an amazing idea, but no, never.
Pussy.
I'm not saying that there's like a 2-page write-up of what happens when you fuck up, but there's a 2-page write-up that happens when you fuck up.
Basically, they have 2 pages of this is how you die.
I mean, this feels like something that you should try before you die, though.
Wait a second. Quick question, Evan. These vampires have souls, right?
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yep, they do.
That means that if you fuck up, I can put you in an ashtray.
Yay!
Fun fact: if you can see this one doesn't.
Oh, that's scary.
I know, right?
Sad face.
But no, he reaches down and he cups Lil's face. You could almost swear you could feel him, and he will say, "If you wanted my attention again, my dear, you had but to ask to come all this way."
The fuck you doing here?
Yeah, I'm going to roll initiative. I'm going to throw a knife at that fucker.
Okay, you can just throw the knife; it'll go straight through him.
That doesn't mean that I didn't protect her.
That's fine. Literally, okay, describe where you throw the knife.
Well, in the part where I don't throw it in her.
Thank you.
Okay.
Not in my sister. Put it that way.
Thank you. I did like this little thank you.
Yeah.
So basically, from your perspective, Carol, you'll fling the knife. It'll fly perfectly through the air and impact him right where his forehead would be, except for it basically goes through him, distorting his image for a handful of seconds, and embeds itself in the ground behind him.
Dang it.
Has your brother always been so verbose in his feelings?
What?
Has he always been so quick to anger?
No, he says that for special cases.
Okay, so guys, if you want to jump the wall, you can. You can make a dexterity athletics check because David is being helpful. It'll only require 2 successes, a difficulty 6 to hop the wall.
And that's a strength athletics. I have some
Strength
of that.
athletics.
I have some of that.
My. So many new faces, so many visitors. Have you come in order to enjoy my hospitality? I'm so sorry I cannot be there to greet you myself in person.
So where can we find you to greet you personally?
I never left, my dear. It's you who went very far away.
Fair enough, but next time really an address or a phone number is just a bit easier.
I gave you my card, my dear.
Fair
On a
enough.
side note, no one else knew that she had a different journalist business card.
Answers a lot of questions.
Actually, I do know that she has that one.
Okay,
Of course
if
he
most
does.
people did not know, she had an infernalist's business card.
Well, that's troubling. I can see this guy's astral cord, can't I?
I don't really
You can see,
see
yes,
that
you can.
troubling.
Okay. But I can't physically interact with it in my current form.
No, but if you were to enter the astral, you could physically interact with his cord.
This is a trap.
That's a trap.
It's totally not like I'm looking up those 2 pages or anything like that. Nope, nothing.
Akbar is on 2 this time.
Forget the pages. You want to do it. Do it.
Do it.
No, I think Bidoof would want me to do it. I have no interest in
mean,
anything Bidoof wants me to do.
Oh, come on. You should totally do the Saskia reaction of I'm a poke the thing.
Saskia's busy serving as an absolutely fantastic distraction while Francis finds cover because he knows what psychic projections can actually do, even if they're not physically there.
You're most welcome.
By the way, Kirill,
Yeah.
roll perception alertness.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I didn't have enough of that.
It's perception. It's difficult to say.
Yes. There you go.
The fact that this is being referred to as
Oh,
the
wow,
Saskia
actually,
thing is like
Nothing whatsoever.
Okay, when other people like to make perception alertness rolls,
Can I do that too?
you can't because you are very much looking at them.
Fuck. Figured.
Nope.
I got a
Is that
success.
perception, alertness, or awareness?
Alertness.
Alertness.
Oh, sorry. That was awareness. Alert is has 2 dice less.
Okay, reroll it.
Yeah, I wasn't doing it. It means 6.
Got 1 success.
There you go. Oh wow, that's a lot more success. That's 4 success. No, 5 success.
Okay, this means you get the opportunity to dodge this. You know that knife that you threw through him?
Yeah.
He is currently being levitated off the ground, aiming at you and being shot through him again.
Fucking hell.
Back at you.
I'm dodging that shit. Unless
Okay.
unless I can catch it.
No, you have to. It would be a dodge check. I was rolling this to see if you had the ability to, like, if you could see it to dodge, because he's standing in the way, but you kind of just see the glint of the metal before it flies.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right.
I'm just gonna have to make a quick roll. You can then roll to dodge. I'll roll it in the rolls chat because let's be fair. I believe you use your So in his particular instance, he's rolling his he's rolling path of movement to the mind.
Yeah. Whilst this is happening, Francis will just say to the person taking cover with him, and this is why we are taking cover.
Okay, so he has 4 successes in an attempt to strike you. You can attempt, or he has 2 successes in an attempt to strike you. You may dodge.
Right. Let's see if I can. That's
Dexterity,
dexterity.
athletics.
Dexterity, athletics. Athletics is more than that. It's Oh yeah. That's an 8, a 10, and 8, a 6. And
Yeah,
a
you
5.
dodge it, no problem. But the force behind that blow was immense. Like, it buries your knife up to its hilt in the wall.
Do I remember that trick from long time ago?
Not really.
Too
You've
bad.
never really seen that particular one before. But he will look down at Lil and he will say, I do apologize. And I merely came to welcome you, my friends. My home is open to you. He will gesture with his
Dare
hand.
you?
Huh?
Keep your fucking paws off my brother.
You tried to kill me first, my dear.
You're fucking Air. How the fuck can he could kill Air with a bloody knife?
He didn't
Seriously.
know that, did he? But you're welcome, my friends. Welcome. Come in. Yes, come. He gestures with his hand, and the gate creaks open. He then gestures with his hand again, and you will see the door to the house also open. My home is open to you. I welcome you. But unfortunately, other matters require my attention elsewhere, so I shall bid you good day. And to you, my darling Lil, bon nuit, bon nuit. The figure will then vanish. For Francis, you will see his cord basically snap him backwards, essentially.
Okay, yeah. Francis, as he snaps back, Francis will emerge from cover and wordlessly just enter the building. Or go up to the door.
I'm gonna use some strength to pull the knife back from the tree.
It's not in the tree; it's in the wall.
Sorry, from the wall then.
That's fine. Roll me strength, athletics to pull it out. It'll require 2 successes, difficulty 6.
I'm not gonna willpower that. So there you go. Yeah, that should work.
Okay. Yep, you retrieve your knife.
I'm going to turn back and join the sheriff inside the house.
Francis keeps an eye on the wards. If any of them seem to randomly move in the direction of the group, he will warn them, or any individual person.
No, as a matter of fact, the wards, you will see it's almost like a gateway has appeared through the wards, like they're actually inviting you in.
Okay. Then Francis will just say,
Can I have a law check on the wards?
Yes, you can.
What's being held back? That's important information.
Can I
He quite literally let us in. The wards are being opened.
Can I read
One
the
success.
Hang on, just 1 second, guys, one at a time. Anthony, what were you saying to me?
1 success.
I will tell you something that is interesting about the wards from how it has been described to you, but it's interesting not necessarily with what they. Many of these wards are not keeping something out; they're keeping something in.
Oh boy.
He sighs. Can I get like a follow-up like infernalism lore or something?
I'll give you an lore infernalism. Yeah.
Evan, would Lord Demon, Angel, or what's the other one? Or Shadowlands be applicable to this?
You don't have Lord Angel. I apologize, but you don't.
3 successes.
I have Lore Angelic.
Hang on, give me a second. I'm gonna check that.
And because Anthony gave it to me.
We will see. One moment. If he did, that's cool, but I don't recall it being a thing. But I'm just going to check. What did you say to me, Anthony? Sorry.
3 successes, sir.
From the shadowy glyphs that are being described to you, they're keeping something spiritual locked here, but you couldn't be sure if it's necessarily something that is directly demonic. But it is definitely something spiritual.
Gotcha. I let my party know. I stick with them.
All right. If he tells it's about spirits, can I roll lore spirits?
Sorry, give me just a second.
Because I believe Angels of Death know a little bit about spirits and all that kind of junk.
So the legend goes.
So I'm gonna manifest my night sight
Okay.
because that might be useful.
Yeah, you never know.
I'm gonna
I
go
have a
ahead.
success.
Sorry.
Sorry.
There you go. I'm just gonna go and spend the blood and make my fingernails claws, because that could be useful.
Might be a good idea. The shit's about to get real.
I don't want to waste the turn making them in combat.
Smart boy.
Tiger is the smartest boy.
Am I? I don't know if I am.
I have faith in you, Tiger. All right, so Francis, because you were the first one to say that you entered, you are greeted by this sight. Give me just a second. As you enter the building.
Where the fuck is the Red Alistair? This should be her job.
She is taking up a leader's tactical responsibility, which is leading from behind.
She's playing it smart.
She will be the one to report about our epic failures and how we died.
But it doesn't look rather pleasant as you step inside. Doesn't it look lovely?
It does. Yeah, you know what? It's okay for now.
It's interesting because the outside has decayed and molded, but the inside seems perfectly fine. As you step inside, the lights will even start to turn on, and you'll notice the fact that there are no light bulbs. It is, in fact, flames that are kept behind glass that are in forms of illumination.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on him just in case they're used against him, because he really doesn't know that much about sorcery in general, and this guy has clearly shown the capacity to attack from a great distance. So,
With quite some force.
but yes, Francis will begin creeping around. His Auspex is still active.
Mm-hmm.
That helps. He'll continue to. He'll probably start with the main foyer. He'll begin checking for anything. He'll basically do a thorough examination of each room. He's investigating. It's why he's here. So he's not really going to leave any stone unturned, even if it is highly dangerous.
Evan?
Yes, dear.
Just a quick question in between, because I might want to do something completely different than anyone else is doing.
Awesome.
What was the name of this guy again?
Aishar.
Aishar. Okay. Check.
Why? What do you wish to do?
I mean, I have a particular thing that allows me to basically, when I have a name, to look for them.
Mhm.
So I was wondering if, I could
Yeah.
scribe for him.
Yes, you can.
Cool. Why the fuck not? She's not gonna go investigating because that's obviously for the fancy people here. So yeah, perception, empathy. But go help someone else first.
Okay, cool. So, Bishop, you will make your way to the left-hand side, and you place your hand on. Okay, there are three ways to leave this room. There is going up the stairs. There is going through a kind of a decrepit, decayed-looking door that is on the left, and there's going through a rather ordinary, just brown wooden door on the right. So, decrepit door on the left, brown door on the right, or you can take the stairs.
I assume there's nothing in the main hall or the main foyer.
Nope.
Okay.
There's a very fancy staircase.
He'll go up the stairs first then.
You will find yourself on a landing that overlooks the those below.
How many rooms have got?
Up here, there are 5.
Okay. He'll kind of
One at the left hand side, one at the right hand side, and then 3 on the row, basically.
Okay. Yeah, he'll kind of start for one nearest and work his way down each 5. What he'll do is he'll kind of stand to the side of the door, nearest to the handle. He'll have one of his hands on his hip holster, and he'll slowly reach for the doorknob and then open each one. Open the one he's on.
Does anything happen if you fail a lore, by the way, Saskia? Do you just not get the faith or anything?
I mean, I didn't fail.
But you did.
It's on site.
I activated my on the roll above. I activated my my keen senses of my lower APOC form, which lowers all my perceptions rolls by 2. I already have so basically I have a -4 on site right now. So unless it was difficulty 9 or 10, I would not have had a success.
Okay, cool. You will see Aishar is sitting in a kind of the lotus position. So he's sitting in the meditative position in an area that is surrounded entirely by black. It's almost inky black, like sickly inky black that surrounds him. And when you look down at him, he will open his eyes and he will look straight back up to you and he will smile. On a side note, guys, Saskia, black ooze starts to drip out of her eyes.
I'll wake her up immediately.
The ooze keeps coming.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I mean,
what's it with me and leaking stuff from my eyes? God damn it!
It also starts to come out of your nose.
Can I get a lore shot? That doesn't seem normal.
Yes, you can.
Not either.
This is funny. You would know what's wrong because you're an expert in demons. That would be great.
4 successes.
You don't know if this is actually common for demons or not.
I mean, to be fair, he has the relevant lores. He knows a lot of things about demons.
Really? Oh, cool. We need to kill that guy first.
Okay. Between you and Bishop, I will point this out right now. You feel a sudden wave wash over you under your artifacts, and you become immediately aware that a connection has been made to something in here from somewhere else.
Okay.
Saskia will start to vomit black ooze. Literally, it's as thick as tar.
Well, then I have to run to the bathroom because I would hate to get that stuff out of my mouth now. You mean Lil? I take it.
Lil. Sorry. Yeah, Lil. I'm Saskia's character, Lil. Give me just a second. She starts to vomit like uncontrollably, like torrents of the stuff, if you get me, out of her mouth. As she's kind of kneeling on her hands and knees, like it's just spewing out from her lips. Until eventually, one moment.
Can I break this connection?
I'm going to let people attempt to do so in a few moments. Yes.
Yeah, I was just gonna wait for everybody to like finish their dice stuff before saying anything. But
Yeah. What did I get on my lore check, Evan?
That is definitely otherworldly. Like there is nothing innately human about where that has come from. You think that basically she's been connected to somewhere else and is in fact spewing up the raw stuff of that place.
Nonsense.
I'm just trying to find a decent one. Give me just a moment. Sorry, I'm looking for a picture.
I have a feeling we're gonna get a Venom. Or no, not Venom, the other one.
Carnage?
Yeah, that one.
Carnage is the red one. Venom is
Oh,
the black.
fuck. Okay. I mean,
It was a good choice, Oscar.
I always get them mixed up. It's like left and right to me. It's like,
And to be fair, they're both just blobs of like mass, so it's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only read about other heroes.
Basically, the stuff that is being spewed forth from her will start to form this. Inverted on the ground.
Rolling that lore though. Like, what am I looking at? Like,
that is before Bishop will start to see another presence starting to appear from the center of the little drawing.
oh, bruh, we're trying to interact with this. Nah, like, what?
No.
No. Like,
Oh no, I gotta oh yeah, man, I leap off that landing and fuck up that symbol before anything can happen. I don't even say anything. All he says is he leaps off the banister to fuck up that symbol is stop her, and yeah, we'll fuck up that symbol with he'll just try and scribble on his fucking sword, make sure it doesn't fucking the symbol is not there.
All right, so I'm just going to do some lore checks and then we'll let people do actions. So, Anthony, what is your lore check?
Making it now. Run towards the symbol with Bishop. So we're basically doing the electric slide on the symbol. So
yeah.
3 successes.
Okay, so basically those in occultism there are the 5 primary directions. You intimate that those points indicate the 5 primary directions, and the loop represents infinity. So essentially, it's essentially calling forth something from all 5 cardinal directions with the with the power of the infinite energy of self. So basically, something is, you know how you guys kept asking me about the veil? Something's beating that down at the moment.
Damn.
Somebody wants to enter?
Something wants to enter. Very much something wants to enter.
Oh boy.
So there is this epic moment as from a second story window. Are we missing someone? We're missing Grog. When did Grog leave?
Grog left because his dog was getting violently sick.
Oh shit! Oh well. Sorry, I was not paying attention. Francis does this epic leap from the top floor onto the ground. You know, superhero landing. He plunges his sword down. He attempts to smash the symbol apart with it, only to find the black Icarus hook is eating through the blade.
Oh god.
Well, we gotta stop that symbol. So when he finds his blade isn't really working, he just tosses it to one side, and attempts to start shooting apart the fucking symbol of his cap.
As you do this, you see a hand burst through, made entirely of black. It's basically come through the center of the symbol, clawed hand.
Chop,
Can
chop,
I try
chop, chop.
something?
Chop, chop, chop.
Evan?
What was sorry? What was that, though?
Well,
Whilst all this is going on I left says this, Aishar has physically grabbed you by the throat wherever you are. He's keeping you talking to him. You and I are going to have a conversation whilst this is
Okay.
going on when they've dealt with it.
so I basically can't do shit.
You have stopped vomiting. I will point that out. When the symbol was completed, you stopped.
I wanted to grab the hand because I think I can do a thing, but well, you know.
Oh, stop.
I will let you have an intelligence lore roll.
Oh boy.
Lore what?
An intelligence occult roll.
Oh, wow.
Intelligence occult. Well, that's great.
Oh, intelligence.
I mean,
Hey,
you can
no,
always,
my intelligence is good.
you can always spend willpower.
What's the fun in that? I really didn't need to.
Oh, fuck me, okay. You can kind of grab the hand because you basically come to the realization you're essentially in both places at once. So you're
Okay.
perceiving Aishar, but you're also perceiving the room, if you understand me.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, the hand that's rising is Aishar's hand that's around your neck, but it basically he's formed from spiritual energy.
Cool. I'm gonna try and do a thing then if I can just hold him.
Okay.
Because Lore of Awakening, level 2, cleanse.
Oh dear. Okay.
Cleanse, a hell of a drug.
Right.
Roll your bones. In which case, we're gonna slide back to the other mofo. So you guys are basically chopping at the hand.
Yeah, with the axe, like chop, chop. Like what the fuck?
Nope. Nope.
Stamina.
Shoot it.
I was gonna say like
Cool.
fucking like I'm just gonna have to point fucking Bruce is there like I don't get fucking paid enough for this shit.
Evan,
Yes.
I'm gonna spend a willpower and a fate point on this.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I want this shit done.
Big whammy, big whammy.
That's 2 automatic successes.
Yep. Gonna cleanse the living shit out of this motherfucker. Wow, I'm glad I spent that willpower and fate.
Jesus.
What does cleanse do?
That would have been some hellish torment. Like,
Oh yeah, right. But I got 2 successes.
made it. Fine.
What does cleanse actually do?
It is basically cleansing. Let me grab the no, god damn it, the right description. Difficulty overall depends on the virulence and scope of the disease or poison. Cleansing a body of the effects of alcohol. It literally cleanses it of any kind of poison stuff. Poisons, infections, or disease. Which does include stuff like cancer and tuberculosis, and it's gonna depend. Like basically, it's going to depend on basically what it is. Like curing someone of alcohol poisoning is difficulty 6. Curing cancer is difficulty 8. But I got 2 successes that are auto successes. So.
Okay. Basically, what you guys will see is you guys will see the tips of the fingers of the black hand ignite in searing white flame. As you hear a kind of an unearthly shrieking howl. If all of you please would make me a willpower check as you hear this unearthly noise.
Does that include me? Of course.
No, it doesn't. You're kind of out. You actually make it if you'd like, but you get it at a -2 diff because you're kind of in 2 places at once and you're not really listening.
Which language does he scream in anguish?
He doesn't. It's like a noiseless scream. It's like a scream of just pain as opposed to saying anything.
Current and total willpower.
It is your total willpower. It is for a vampire. It is difficulty 7. Or sorry, no, for vampire it's difficulty 6. If you have a heartbeat, it's difficulty 7.
A
I got 2 successes.
9,
2.
1.
Wow. Literally fucking Hood is just standing there going, ah yes, I could listen to this all day. It reminds me of the Navy. How? I don't know, but by God, it reminds me of the Navy. So for the nose... Oh, Joey. Joey.
Dear sweet prince.
We know you well. No, really. Joey, you are filled with a unique and interesting sense of fear, a terror that you are basically inspired of the worst fear you have ever felt, enkindling lost memories or possibilities. You see moments of your lives even before the fall, that terrified you in all of its wonder and splendor, as well as its heinous evil and dark abomination. Have fun with that.
Okay.
How do you react?
He just kind of freezes. He just kind of is processing that for a few seconds. Because
Ishard looks at you. For the record, as you're looking at him in the void, his own hand is also on fire, Saskia, but it doesn't seem to be burning you. He also doesn't seem to notice it. He looks at you and he says, "Why is it that you care?"
Legit question.
Well, if I can
Probably
reach
because you have me by the fucking throat.
Because you came to spy on me.
I mean, like you did just now when we got to this crap hole.
You broke into my house without my permission, and I welcomed you.
You don't live here,
Not anymore, technically.
so it's no longer your house.
That depends on how you view concepts of ownership, but yes.
Ownership is fluid.
Yep.
Spoken like a true thief.
I mean,
I just feel the need to sit here and give you a slow clap for that one. Like, every single maniac who's ever lived is just agreeing with this sentiment. Congratulations. But he will release you and you will snap back to your body. But the last thing you'll hear him say is just the phrase, "What a pity. What a pity." As her eyes open, the hand is immolated into the white flame before the ashes of it are swept away by an ominous breeze. At least one of you looks like you are suffering from a bout of PTSD following that. I recommend some kind of emergency talking to.
I am not the man to do it. Sorry.
that's Asminiel, right?
Correct. Sorry, I was looking at something.
If nobody else goes to him, they'll just be like, "Hey, buddy, all right?"
I
So
mean,
maybe-
we'll put up, but
No. Francis is looking at her with a "you caused this" face.
she's looking back at him.
Again.
She's looking back at him with a "and I fucking fixed it" face.
What did you? Well, actually, no. I shouldn't bother asking. I know what you did.
She's just gonna ignore him, bloody fucking vampire. She's gonna go over to, good buddies, demon buddies, and she's gonna try and get Asminiel to kind of snap out of it by just, clapping in front of his eyes.
Oh, is that what she does?
Yes.
Oh no.
We're here to investigate.
Okay. I need to roll Dex Brawl because he's gonna
That's fine.
surprise
Because things are about to get real.
He's gonna take a Dex swing.
It's like we're here to oh fuck.
And then there was a punch up.
That's cool. I'm
successes.
fine with this. Okay.
Successes.
I mean, Saskia, legit question. Were you expecting him to just sock you in the mouth?
I mean, she was expecting a lot of things.
So okay, I'll let you roll to dodge.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Okay, then.
Yes.
All right. You manage to basically rather dexterously weave out of the way of the punch, but he appears to not be in any way in a good mental state.
Oh no, he's straight up crying. Like he is just he's not like sobbing, he has like tears going down his face because he was not expecting that. And now he knows what a bad person he was in his previous life.
Oh dear. Lil will just, kind of step up to him. It's like, dude, it's fucked up. I agree, but we got some shit to solve. Let's save this for later.
Yes, you here to assault each other, or are you here to investigate the threat?
Shut
What
up.
he said.
No.
Well then, gentlemen, can we stop? And lady.
She's once more going to ignore them and look at this menial because,
He's
This is
just
getting
going to
old
like
fast. Stop.
yeah, he's just gonna wipe the tears away and say, "Let's go, let's take care of this."
Cool.
And note, it's the first time you've actually heard him speak.
Mm-hmm. She's just going to, kind of pat him on the shoulder like, there. She's not very good at this either. At least she's trying.
No, we're amazing at this.
For future record, I don't know exactly what you did, but maybe not make connections with things you don't understand.
Lil is definitely biting back a snarky comment on that.
He just kind of shrugs like I can't.
Don't fuck around with things you don't know. Let's continue. Let's continue.
Maybe tell your sister that, and he'll just go up the stairs.
We've lost Evan.
All right.
Okay. So, it appears to calm down now.
Francis will go up the stairs with the rest of the kindred because
I'm not dealing with that. So up the stairs.
yeah, we're not dealing with this hot mess. We're done here.
Yeah,
that's not.
To the stairs.
They can be self-destructive all on their own.
All right. In that case, kids, at this point, we will divide you. So, the vampires will go upstairs. The demons will take downstairs. Is this agreeable to both sides?
Yep.
Sounds great, not having to be amongst dead things all the time.
Yeah, they smell.
At this point, we are going to end our scene because you will split into two teams. Both of these teams will have their own individual mission to do, as I think it is actually easier for me to run it on a separate evening for each one of you, if that's acceptable by both sides. So thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Darkness in Dublin where people threw punches. It's pretty great.